Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. So did you guys see the Super Bowl? Everybody's talking about it. For more than one reason, of course. I remember a day when the Super Bowl was celebrated and something I look forward to watching with all my friends and family. Boy, times have changed, haven't they? The Super Bowl. What a cluster F that was. Anyway, and we're going to start this off with Black and White Sports. Check them out on YouTube. Awesome. Very sports orientated. None of this wokeness. Have a listen. And again, check them out. Black and White Sports. We're starting off with the Super Bowl.
Tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, Black and White Sports fans, it is the day after the Super Bowl. And boy, we got a bit story to talk about. Because the story actually going in to the Super Bowl was really not about the Chiefs or the 49ers. There was a lot of talk about Taylor Swift. And this Super Bowl, honestly, seems to be the most political out of any Super Bowl. Astonishing, mainly because of Taylor Swift. As you guys know, in 2020, she came out and endorsed Joe Biden. She's also dating Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a spokesperson for Pfizer, by the way. They actually call him Mr. Pfizer. Yeah. So, leading up to the Super Bowl, man, you know, especially the way the Super Bowl actually played out, the Chiefs were actually down 10-0 in the first half. And actually, honestly, guys, it should have been 17-0 if Christian McCaffrey didn't fumble inside of the, I believe that was actually inside of the Chiefs 20. He fumbled that in the first quarter. That first half, man, was dominated by the 49ers. And then we saw how the inning actually played out with Mahomes and the Chiefs actually winning pretty much, you know, with like a minute left in overtime. Now, if they actually didn't score during that overtime, from what I actually understand, play would have continued on until into the next quarter until the Chiefs scored. If they actually scored or turnover on downs, then the 49ers would have actually won. Now, yesterday, I put up a video about one Joe Biden, resident Biden, Beijing Biden, and his Super Bowl message really was weird. It was strange. He didn't do a Super Bowl interview at all. Now, Joe Biden made a post on X last night after the Super Bowl. And I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden really did not make that post. It was definitely his handlers. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden was actually asleep because, you know, that's what Joe Biden does. He actually sleeps. The man is 81 years old. I don't truly believe this man is calling the shots whatsoever. He's not running his social media accounts. There are people behind the scenes, his handlers, that are doing it. But a post that he put out last night, or his handlers, man, this whole NFL red thing, man, it's been out there, you know, for most of this season because of Taylor Swift. And the NFL was definitely pandering to Taylor Swift. They keep putting her on TV time and time again. And then the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, in a way, you know, it kind of takes away from the Chiefs because the Chiefs had already won 2 Super Bowls. Mahomes had won 2 Super Bowls before this, and he actually went to 3. He lost to Tom Brady, got blown out by Tom Brady in the 2021 Super Bowl. Another story, so I digress. Is the NFL rigged? Well, this post by Biden, his handlers, definitely makes you think. Look at this post right here from Joe Biden. This is the official government account on X. And he puts, or his handlers actually put, I should say, just like we drew it up with the Dark Brandon meme right there. So is the Biden administration colluding with the NFL? I don't think this was a smart post to actually put up here because it only leads fuel to fire of people thinking that the NFL is rigged. Now, he's getting slammed on this post right here. The NFL should not be rigged, but when you put out something like this, it's definitely going to make people think that the NFL is rigged. Now, the NFL themselves didn't do themselves any favors by putting this out on X. Look at this here. They put icon at Taylor Swift 13, and they actually put up a post of Taylor Swift right there at the Super Bowl, calling her an icon, and they're getting slammed for this too. This person says, what does this have to do with the football game? This person says, devil worship, no thank you, NFL. Children, watch this. Wow. This person says, F you and F her. Yeah. This is not a good look right here, guys. Not a good look. Just like we drew it up. Over here, look at this here. People on X are saying that the NFL is rigged. This person says everything in America is rigged, even the Super Bowl. Another person says, good morning to everyone who knows the NFL and Super Bowl are rigged, just like our elections are rigged. Wow. And on this post right here, this person actually puts up a poll asking if the Super Bowl is rigged. I didn't vote, so I don't even know if what the vote totals are on that are. Now this right here, I saw this right here, this post right here, and I'm gonna pause it because look at this here. American fans discovered that the Super Bowl was rigged. If they can do this in America, imagine what they can do in Qatar. Now right here it shows Patrick Mahomes actually running out of bounds. It's second down. Okay, supposed to be second down. He didn't make the game right there, and then all of a sudden you're gonna see it changes to 1st and 10. Yeah. Right here, here's another post right here. Let's see. Oh, this was actually the game-winning touchdown right there. The Super Bowl was rigged as usual for the Chiefs to win, as if the Taylor Swift psyop wasn't proof enough. Watch closely as number 33 fails to make a play on a wide receiver. This is another prime example of scripted nonsense from the NFL. Yeah, he was pretty much wide open on that, and the Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, what do you guys make of this, man? Not a smart post by Beijing Biden's handlers to put that out. Not at all. Now, no team has won 3 straight Super Bowls. And actually, the Chiefs winning, that was actually the longest drought of back-to-back Super Bowl winners. If they win back-to-back-to-back, a three-peat, that's never happened before in NFL history. So there would actually be a whole bunch of speculation. But what if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce actually break up during the offseason? Then a whole bunch of people I'm willing to bet are going to say, yeah, the 2023-24 NFL season was rigged. Yeah. So, but that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments.
On Black and White Sports.
Go check out Black and White Sports. Got some good stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the game last night, so I have no clue what's going on. Anyway, rigged game, huh? I saw something prior to the season about some book that was out that celebrities were looking at that had apparently the script of the 2023 season. So I don't know. It's just nuts. But sounds like it. I got even more stuff coming on. This guy is called Matt Be Great. More controversy and just plain old good Super Bowl stuff. I remember when this used to be a game, a football game, but wow. Here we go. Have a listen. Matt Be Great.
Listen up, buddy. If you don't want to take my word for it, Here's what Sleepy Joe tweeted out right after the game. Seriously? Do y'all want me to go on a rampage and rant? What more do you need to see? I want you to think about this. Some random Joe Schmo, I'm talking about myself by the way, made a video 4 days ago telling you detail by detail exactly what was going to happen in this ball game. The video I made 4 days ago isn't me predicting the future. It's not me knowing something that you guys don't know. It's just acknowledging the cold hard facts about living in the United States and the cold hard facts about the NFL. Here's what I do think we're going to see happen. I think the 49ers, they're going to jump out all over them. I expect to see some storybook ending where the 49ers are leading all game, and then Patrick Mahomes, he has some all-time legacy drives in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. It just seems like the 49ers are going to run all over them in the first half. Purdy's going to have a couple touchdowns, and then boom, out of nowhere, the Chiefs catch fire. I expect to see some crazy tip passes like in the Lions versus the 49ers game. You're going to see craziness. It's a Super Bowl. You almost got to feel like it's written in the script somewhere that 3 to 4 mind-blowing plays are going to happen. And I expect the Chiefs to win this game in crazy comeback fashion. Why do I think that's going to happen? Because it's good for the narrative, and also it's good for the longevity of the NFL. You see, this is something a lot of people aren't talking about. The NFL and the college game, just any sport in general, it thrives when you have a villain. Ironically enough, have you noticed? The Patriots dynasty ended and then a new one started right after. The NFL needs dynasties because it keeps casuals tuning in so they can hate watch and root against somebody. Most people tuning into this game don't even know jack squiddly crap about the 49ers. But guess what? Here's what they do know. The Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes. They got the best quarterback in the NFL. So, that guy's the best. I'm rooting against him. It would be extremely beneficial for the NFL to have the Chiefs to go out here and win this game. I'm telling you. And I got to believe in the script, man. The script tells us that the Chiefs need to and are going to win this game. So that's what I'm going with. And here's the thing about all of this. As I've gotten older and slightly matured a little bit, I've learned this, and you'll learn this as well. Some things in life, they're inevitable, and there's nothing you can do about it. And this right here is one of those situations. The modern version of the NFL is nothing but pure entertainment. Like the person said in one of the comments, it's the WWE. You can run from it, you can hide from it, you can do whatever you want, but destiny is always bound to happen. Hey man, no need to call me a hero. No need whatsoever to call me a hero. I'm just doing my job. That video clip I just showed you guys, that is coming from a video we posted 4 days ago on the channel. You can go check it out for yourself. The title of it is, The Super Bowl Script is Inevitable. And I'm going to say this one more time for the people in the back. That was 4 days ago. Fast forward time to our current date. Here we are, and everything I said was going to happen, or everything I thought was going to happen, it did. To make a long story short here, you saw the game. It just ended. 49ers jumped on them early, and Patrick Mahomes had a crazy comeback, and there was also a bunch of crazy plays that happened as well that we'll get to in just a second. A little foreshadowing here. But first things first, though, I do want to throw this in there because sometimes I forget to do it. I always like to congratulate my winners because you won the game. It's not easy winning the Super Bowl. Not easy at all. When it comes to football in general, that is at the totem pole. That is at the highest of highs, winning the Super Bowl. So let's do that real quick. Clap it up to the Chiefs. I know a lot of us, we were not rooting for the Chiefs, but they went out there, they took it, they won the game. Patrick Mahomes continues to prove that he is already, at this point in time, early on in his career, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Where exactly does Patrick Mahomes rank? Well, that's a different conversation for a different day. But there's one thing you can't deny. He is a winner, and y'all know what I've been saying on the channel. I've been saying it the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years, however long you've been watching. Winners win and losers lose. There's something about winners, and I'm not just talking about football, but you may have a brother, an uncle, a cousin. Everything they do, they win at. If you pay attention in this life to the business world, sports, anything, like I said, just anything in general, winners are always going to somehow, some way find a way to win. And Mahomes and Andy Reid, they did that again. And the game just got done wrapping up. I made this video and trying to get it out as soon as possible. But looking back on it, the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl with this team and all the problems they had all throughout the year, it's ridiculous. I don't want to sit up here and say I'm shocked just due to the fact alone, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, and I never cared how bad the Chiefs were struggling throughout the season because I knew Patrick Mahomes, he's lightning in a bottle. He can turn it on within an instant. Patrick Mahomes is getting to the level where I'm starting to put him in the category, and I have a very small category of this, people I would never bet against. There's 4 guys right now is where it stands I would never bet against. Nick Saban, and he just retired, so I guess now he's taken off the list. Tom Brady, he retired, so I guess I got to take him off the list as well. Tiger Woods and LeBron James. And I think Patrick Mahomes, I got to add him to that conversation. He'll replace Tom Brady. He's just that guy, and I'll give y'all my perspective on the situation. Remember in the middle of the season when the Chiefs were struggling, everybody's like, oh yeah, this team isn't good as the previous ones. I never cared. I was never worried for a split second. You know why? Because of who we just talked about, Patrick Mahomes. And I wouldn't even be worried if the Chiefs started out the regular season 0-7 or 0-8. As long as you got Mahomes, you got a fighting chance. And Mahomes is so good, he's starting to get to that Brady level where even if you don't necessarily care for him, you still got to respect greatness, and it's almost impossible to hate on him. You never really saw people hating on Brady throughout his career. It was more so of, hey, I'm tired of seeing this guy win all the time, so I want to see him lose. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes, and it sucks that he gets a bad rep, and I was tweeting about this all throughout the game. And if you want to see what I'm saying on Twitter, feel free to follow me. But I was saying, it sucks that Patrick Mahomes does get that bad rep just because of his weirdo of a brother, his insane lunatic of a wife, and most recently, the situation with his dad. He's a part of this crazy family, and I'm not going to sit up here and say he's the humblest guy I've ever seen, but he just takes care of business, and he's not too flashy. He doesn't rub me the wrong way. Whereas, there's another certain player on the Chiefs who, and you know who exactly I'm talking about, does rub me the wrong way. And I hate to jump on the hype train now because it is popular to hate on him because of what he did during the Super Bowl, but I've always thought he was a slimy guy, and I'm referring to no other than Travis Kelce. And maybe he is a good dude. I don't know him personally. I'm just giving you the vibes I get from him. There's just something off about him. I don't know what it is. I've always thought something's off, though. And I could be completely wrong. Maybe he's the ultimate gentleman. Maybe he's this great and super humble guy, but I don't get that feeling from him. The way I view Travis Kelce, it's relatively simple. He's a beyond talented athlete. He was gifted with super rare abilities, but unfortunately, he's an egotistical maniac. He reminds me of a local frat dude who is a rage monster and has anger problems, but was just blessed with the ability to play football. That's it. Oh, crap. Hold on. You know what? I'm so glad I did this. I tweeted this out before the game even started. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Or my bad, actually. It wasn't before the game. I thought it was. It was right when the game started. It was before the crazy sequence with Andy Reid. I tweeted out, I feel bad for the kids growing up now watching Travis Kelce. When I was growing up, I got to witness Rob Gronkowski. That's a real tight end, and I firmly believe that. And there's some other tight ends you could throw in there. I know a lot of people like Tony Gonzalez, but for me, Rob Gronkowski, he takes the cake. And as far as it goes for the Andy Reid situation, I'm not even going to talk about that because I just want to talk about the game, but I'll give you this and we got to get a move on. I didn't even want to talk about this as long as I have already. I think Travis Kelce is more infatuated with himself and his own success than anybody else's or the team's. That's my opinion on him. Now, getting that out the way, congratulations to Patty Mahomes, one of the greatest of all time already. I gave you my opinion on the Travis Kelce situation. Let's talk about the game. I enjoyed this game from start to finish. It was very, shall I say, college football-esque. It reminded me of a college football game due to the reason there was mistakes left and right. How many fumbles were there in this game? I know there was only like 2 lost ones. But no. I think there was 3 lost ones. But fumbles that the same team recovered, there's about, 7 or 8? Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. It might be in a box score somewhere. Okay, yeah. So check this out. The Chiefs, I was right. There was about 7 or 8. They had 5 total fumbles, but they only lost 1 of them. If I were to tell you before the game the Chiefs were going to have 5 fumbles and they still would win the game, I don't think anybody would have believed me. Heck, I wouldn't have believed myself, and vice versa. See, here's the difference maker. San Francisco, they had 2 fumbles, but here's the kicker. They lost both of them. One of those being early in the game, McCaffrey on the first drive, and at bare minimum, they would have got 3 points on that drive, but it felt like they was going to score a touchdown. And the other being on that punt return, which also resulted in 7 points for the Chiefs. Although the punt return one wasn't on the returner himself because the ball hit one of the blocker guys, it was still a fumble, and it cost them, like I said, 7 points. The point is, me bringing that up is, it felt like a college football game because of all the mistakes, and that's rare to see. We're talking about professionals, and not just any professionals, but 2 of the top teams in the world. I don't think you'll ever see another Super Bowl in your lifetime where you have 7 fumbles in one game. No way.
You can hear the rest of his story on Matt Be Great on YouTube. Interesting, very good, level-headed reporting, both sides of the story. And again, this is supposed to be a football game, but so much craziness going on. And you probably also have heard at one point in the game during a fumble, apparently Kelce came up to Andy Reid, who is the coach of the Chiefs. Apparently he had some words for him and bumped into him, and that's been making quite a stir, especially for the Swifties, who are now telling poor Taylor to dump him because this is the things that come with this guy's temper. I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, I have a little clip from what Andy Reid had to say about it. and he totally plays it off. No big deal. Again, crazy stories about a football game that were more interested in the pop stars and the dilemmas and dramas of what actually goes on. But again, it's entertainment. NFL stands for Entertainment Conglomerate of the World, just so you know. Have a listen.
Conversation with you. What was that convo about? Because it seemed like the offense and everybody changed after that. What was that convo about?
He caught me when I wasn't looking.
I saw that. It's a fumble. That was another turnover.
Yeah, he didn't know
that. Your place.
He didn't know I was going to go that far.
Right.
So he came over and gave me a hug. So sorry about that. But you know what? He just wants to be on the field and he wants to play. And so there's nobody I get better than I get him. He's a competitive kid, and he loves to play, and he makes me feel young, but my balance is terrible, Booger.
I just remember a time when football players really took any actions towards their coaches. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't care who you were. I mean, there's been differences, this and that you hear, but wow. Especially with all the cameras going on and your girlfriend's Taylor Swift. I mean, wow, you don't just do this kind of stuff. But again, that's my opinion. And that's all it is just opinion. So we're going to now change up for the last little thing on football because I'm tired of talking about this. But can you believe that, once again, the NFL is woke and diverse, and we had a dual national anthem. And this is behind the line. NFL blasted for playing two anthems. They're trying to divide us. I mean, that's why I said this game has become so controversial. It's not the greatest game in the world anymore. It's a political psyop that they're using to control us. But anyway, have a listen.
I don't know about you guys, but after watching that Super Bowl last night, I'm feeling united. I'm feeling the urge to give passionate woke hugs to my brothers aspiring to be sisters. My woke smoothie runneth over. I guess football really is for everyone, and that's not my opinion. You don't have to take my word for it. Roger Goodell and the NFL front office, they beam with rainbow pride when they say football is for everyone. Inclusion, oh, unity, U-N-I-T-Y, U-N-I-T-Y, that's a unity. Headline from Out Sports. NFL makes the Super Bowl gay, gay, gay. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. Over the last couple of years, it seems like the NFL has been on a mission to diversify their audience. The league claims they want to bring people together. Now, maybe it's just me, but there just seems to be something different about the modern NFL. Going into the Super Bowl last night, I could not have cared less. I put a little bit of money on the Niners in the under last night, trying to make the game more interesting. For 3.5 quarters, I was bored out of my mind. I couldn't get into it. It felt like a microcosm of the NFL season. Both offenses were struggling. The game never got into a real rhythm. The biggest story going into halftime and maybe even overtime was Travis Swiffer having an emotional meltdown on the sideline and bouncing his man boobs off the shoulder of head coach Andy Reid. Speaking of unity, that really unified the NFL fan base. The overreactions were at an all-time high. Kelsey Travis is an abuser! Run, Tay-Tay, run! You're his next victim! I'm not even going to address that stupidity. If I were Taylor Swiffer, I wouldn't be worried about my future divorcee Kelsey. I would be more concerned with my close proximity to Jackie Mahomes. The wannabe victims of mythical racism on social media, they twisted the situation between Andy Reid and Travis Swiffer and claimed it was an example of white privilege. If a black player did that to Andy Reid, he would be kicked out of the league. White privilege is real. Are you feeling the unity yet? I seem to remember Latrell Sprewell putting a sleeper hold on head coach PJ Carlesimo. After the incident, he played in the NBA for another 8 years. It was a week of unity last week in Las Vegas. You had the NFL-sponsored Pride celebration last Wednesday, where people were encouraged to share stories of gender-affirming care. The latest edition of Woke Illustrated was released last week. Who was on the cover to represent unity? What beautiful woman did they select to unify the country? Brittany Mahomes, the matriarch of unity. Let's just move on from that. For the third consecutive year, the NFL wanted to unify the country before kickoff by playing the national anthem. Now, this is a great idea, right? The national anthem, pride for your country, that should be something that we can all agree on. The NFL, though, they look at the national anthem a little bit differently than the rest of us. You see, the original national anthem, it's not very equitable. There's no mention of diversity. It was written back in the 1700s, 200 years before desegregation. I guess the NFL feels like the original national anthem is a bit antiquated, but that's okay. That's okay. NFL fans who like tradition, NFL fans who prefer to hear the actual national anthem, the NFL has you covered. They hired Reba McEntire to represent people resembling Big Red Joy Behar to beautifully sing the actual national anthem. But what about representation for black people? According to the mainstream media, the national anthem doesn't represent them. Even though millions of black people fought wars for this country defending the freedoms mentioned in the national anthem. You know that line, "in the land of the free"? Yeah. Black people fought for that too. Instead of the national anthem representing all of us, instead of the national anthem being used to unify us, the NFL, they decided to segregate 13% of the country by having Andre Day sing what the media calls the Black National Anthem. Last I checked, the title of the song was "Lift Every Voice and Sing." All of a sudden, when George Floyd happens a few years ago, we decide to rewind the clock 100 years and we start calling the song the Black National Anthem. I would be willing to bet 95, maybe even 99% of the country never heard of that song until George Floyd. Look, I don't have a problem with "Lift Every Voice and Sing" being played at the Super Bowl. Does it hurt anything? No. Is the song itself divisive? No. If the NFL marketed the performance as something like "America the Beautiful," just another song that's performed before the real national anthem, I don't think most people would have a problem with it. But that's not how the NFL markets the song. That's damn sure not how the mainstream media promotes the song. In the name of unity, the song is promoted as the Black National Anthem. Just think about that. In order to unify us, they are separating us, dividing us. Headline at the Daily Mail: NFL fans are split by the playing of the Black National Anthem. I'm pretty sure split is the opposite of united. My problem is not with the song. My problem is the NFL and the mainstream media lying to us about it. It feels like the NFL is being used to further divide the country. We've already seen this happen before. 4 years ago, the NBA was used to divide the country. Remember all the so-called unity in the NBA in the Orlando bubble, where you were accused of being a racist if you voted for Donald Trump? Orange man bad! If you didn't support defunding the police, you were accused of being a racist. And by the way, who was impacted the most by defunding the police? It wasn't me. During the middle of all that bullshit, police officers in my city, they were actually given a raise. Who was impacted the most by defunding the police? The marginalized communities the mainstream media claims to be fighting for, minority communities and inner cities. We are seeing the same divisiveness in the NFL. It's just not as overt. It's just not as in your face as it was in the NBA. Think about it. Who is the most high-profile team in the NFL right now? The Kansas City Guardians. Let's review some of the biggest stories from this season from the Guardians. Now, just to be clear, most of these stories were created by the mainstream media. You tell me if these created stories were meant to unify us or divide us. Remember the young fan of the Guardians who painted his face red and black to be a mascot for his favorite NFL team? Kid was, 9 years old? According to Karen Phillips and Deadspin, this male-birthing person is racist. Not only does he dislike black people, he was also born with a deep-seated resentment towards the Guardians. Obviously, this was completely fabricated and one of many examples of mythical racism that we discuss all the time here on the channel. Was that fairy tale meant to unite or divide? Before the regular season and before he became a Swiffer, Travis Kelce doubled down on divisiveness. He changed his name to Travis Pfizer, trying to convince people to get quadruple boosted. Take this Fauci love. Ooh, there's no lovin' like Fauci lovin'. He also lectured people on the importance of tolerance. He chastised normal people for boycotting Bud Light. Travis claimed that he enjoyed Bud Light almost as much as he enjoyed the grilled wiener. He encouraged NFL fans to support Oscar Mayer while also tolerating Bob Dylan Mulvaney. Now you tell me, was that unifying or divisive? And speaking of Kelce Travis, let's get to this relationship with the Swiffer. God forbid you get tired of hearing about that bullshit. God forbid you get on social media and say, can we not show Taylor Swiffer 5 times a quarter, 5 times a half, 5 times a game? Colin Cowherd, he'll accuse you of being a lonely virgin. Now, he won't call out the real Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman from USA Today, but Cowherd, along with his pretend friends in the media, they have no problem lecturing you because you're tired of the Swiffers. Again, unifying or divisive. The media, they pit NFL quarterbacks against each other. According to the media, MVP votes for Josh Allen is a vote for the white man. You can't like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. It's either one or the other. The Mahomes Mafia. I compare them to the Mannings because in the last decade or so, they've been the most prominent families in the NFL. I challenge you to give me one example of the Manning family being divisive. Compare the behavior of the Mannings to the behavior of the Mahomes. And look, I am not including Patrick Mahomes in this. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Brother Jackie, who prances around in his tutu, performing under his stage name, the Dancing Queen. Brittany Mahomes is constantly embarrassing the family on social media. The media, they are creating this narrative that the hatred for the Kansas City Guardians is rooted in jealousy. Fans always hate winners. They hate dynasties. I keep seeing these same comparisons to Tom Brady and the Patriots. I don't remember this level of hatred with Tom Brady and the Patriots. People might have been tired of them winning, tired of the dynasty, but the Patriots were universally respected. There is a strong level of disdain towards the Kansas City Guardians, and I don't think it has anything to do with football. It has everything to do with their antics on and off the field. Last night, CBS, they are going through the ceremony giving the Chiefs the Lombardi Trophy. Andy Reid handles it professionally. Patrick Mahomes handles it professionally. What does Travis Swiffer do? He gets on stage in front of a global television audience and starts screaming like a fucking banshee. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! You know, if I was 21 years old again, I'd probably think it was cool, but problem is, I'm not 21 years old. I am closer to Travis Kelce's age, and the only thing it told me was, it's time to grow up. I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes. I really do. It's hard not to like this dude. Watching his post-game interview on NFL Network last night, this dude is extremely humble. He's gracious. He's everything you want in a franchise quarterback or as the face of your league. But, God, I mean, he's surrounded by idiots. I have a feeling the unity we saw last night and the unity we saw throughout the regular season, that is only the beginning. The media is going to continue using the NFL to divide the country. There's really only one way to stop it. The only reason it stopped in the NBA, people quit watching. I don't see that happening, though, in the NFL. But give me your thoughts on this. NFL heavily criticized for playing 2 national anthems while also being praised for doing so. According to the media, that's called unity. Do you think the media is using the NFL to divide the country, or am I way off base here? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.
Wow, how incredible was that? That was almost crazy. But that's why I left all the credits into him. So you can listen to him at your heart's desire, because he's actually really good. Brings up a lot of valid points. Definitely not bringing us together. They're trying to separate us. And what better way to do it under the guise of entertainment? So as I said, we're going to switch the gears because we're done with the Super Bowl stuff. Anyway, next I have Fox News. They got the law wrong. Experts explain the red flag on the Biden classified documents probe. Again, it's just, let's just drop all the charges. Let's forget this, Well, the guy can't remember nothing. He's just an old guy. He's got good intentions. No problems. Meanwhile, President Trump going through the ringer, and he has presidential powers that allows him to have classified documents. Again, I don't know anything about this mess. I'm not a president. I'm not a legal scholar. But, geez, two different levels of justice here. So, with that, Fox News. Check this out. Have a listen.
It's a fair point. Joining me right now is Harvard Law Professor Emeritus, author of Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law. Alan Dershowitz back with us. Alan, great to see you. Thank you for being here this morning. Your reaction to Ratcliffe and Bauer?
Well, they're both right. The report itself is a disaster on both respects. It was unfair to both sides. First, they got the law wrong. The kind of cognitive skills you need to be able to commit this crime are minimal cognitive skills. All Biden had to know is that he did possess classified material and that he had no right to possess it. You don't need a deep memory to do that. So he was just wrong about the law. He was also wrong about how trials are conducted. How would the jury find out about Biden's bad memory? Biden would have to introduce it. As a trial lawyer, I would never have introduced that as a defense in this case. So Herr was wrong. Herr was also wrong in going as far as he went in trying to do a medical diagnosis of somebody who he hadn't examined, who medically or hadn't been examined medically. So, I think this report is going to really cause us to think hard about the role of special counsel. He was wrong in everything he possibly could have done. He was wrong about not charging Biden. Biden should have been charged, or Trump should have been his case dismissed. And he was wrong in going into kind of medical diagnoses that will have a political impact on the case. A D- with great inflation for Mr. Hurd.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had to give a reason as to why he wasn't going forward with any prosecution.
Well, but can you imagine if he had said, look, all the elements are there, but he's a really good-looking guy and a charming guy, and I don't think
exactly.
the jury's going to convict him. He's so charming. Or if he had said, look, he's black, and the jury in this district is going to be predominantly black, so we're not going to charge. That's not what a special counsel is supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be laying out the elements of the crime and not making predictions about how the jury will assess the evidence. That's up to the jury itself. So he went way beyond the scope of what he should have been doing.
Alan, let me switch gears, ask you about what's going on with this impeachment inquiry. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is now demanding unfettered access to those classified documents that President Biden was holding on to. He wants to determine whether those documents were used to help the Biden family's influence peddling schemes. Special counsel Robert Hur's report confirmed that Biden held on to confidential documents related to Ukraine and China. Hunter Biden, of course, as you know, was on the board of Burisma, the Ukrainian natural gas company. In June of 2014, he also had a joint business venture with the Communist Party of China. It was CEFC. Here's what Chairman Comer told me yesterday about all of that. Watch. Your reaction to the special counsel's report.
What I'm concerned about is the fact that hidden within that document is evidence that some of the classified documents he mishandled were from Ukraine and China. We've been leading a major influence peddling investigation of the president where we've proven that at the very least his son and brother have been influence peddling with those two countries. We want to know exactly what those documents were, and we want to know if Hur actually interviewed Jim Biden and Hunter Biden, because look, this family, as you know very well, has been involved in influence peddling for decades. This is shady. This is counter to everything we stand for in America, and it's a threat to our national security.
Alan, your thoughts?
Well, certainly the House Judiciary Committee has the right to get all of this information and to pursue an inquiry into corruption. but it's not an impeachable offense because it didn't occur while he was president, and they haven't been able to point the finger at him rather than at his children. As you know, I defended President Trump against unconstitutional impeachment. You need to show treason, bribery, other high crimes and misdemeanors. I don't think they can show that against the incumbent president of the United States. So, yeah, go ahead and do the investigation. Find out if there was corruption, but drop the impeachment and drop the impeachment of Mayorkas as well. We should not be using impeachment unless the House can demonstrate clearly treason, bribery, other high crimes and misdemeanors. And I think they're way short of that.
Well, but Alan, what about this dereliction of duty at the open border? I mean, what do you think should be done there? You're saying drop the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas?
Yes, without a doubt, because dereliction of duty was raised in the Constitutional Convention. They called it maladministration. And James Madison said, no, we can't have that as a ground for impeachment. You can have hearings. You can abolish the office. You can do a great many things. The one thing you can't do is abuse the impeachment power. And every Republican who voted for Donald Trump in the impeachment case should be voting against the impeachment of Mayorkas. I understand the frustration, but impeachment is not a cure-all. It's not designed to make policy decisions. If you don't like what Mayorkas is doing, vote against the man who appointed him. That's the right end of the Constitution.
Alan, when are you expecting a decision from the Supreme Court on whether or not Trump will be on the Colorado ballot? And what's your expectation of this coming couple of months going into the election? Trump is obviously outsized winner in the GOP. He's expecting to lock up the nomination by mid-March. And yet he's got these 4 indictments.
Well, first of all, I think the Supreme Court will rule either 8-1 or 9-0 that Colorado can't take the vote away from you or me. You want to vote for Trump. I want to vote against Trump. We have an equal constitutional right to cast the ballot, not to have Colorado decide who casts the ballot in the case and who decides who's the president. Yes, there will be these charges. I would hope that maybe the charges against Trump in Florida would be dismissed as a result of the special counsel's report. If you apply the criteria he applied, I just don't think you see a case. Remember, a man like Trump is not obligated to cooperate when the government is trying to get him and put him in jail. So if I were his lawyer, I would not have recommended that he cooperate. And the fact that he didn't cooperate is not a relevant factor in deciding whether or not he or Biden should be prosecuted. So, I think we're going to have 2 weakened candidates, one weakened by we know what, age, et cetera, and the other weakened by the fact that he has 4 charges. In my book, Get Trump, I conclude that none of the 4 charges against Trump are valid, but at least one of them will probably go to trial and probably result in a conviction before the election. And that could have an impact on the election. Is it election interference? Well, maybe it isn't intended to be such, but it may have that impact, and that wouldn't be good for American voters.
Wow, what a year. Incredible, Alan. We'll be watching it along with you. We appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely clown world. Can you believe this stuff? But at least it's coming out to light, and you're going to hear more and more about all this. Just unbelievable amount of political theory for political means. It's here. So with that, I'm going to bring up something else directly from Larry, if you don't believe that. It's called Off the Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they have a lot to talk about this flooding that's been going on in California that I thought it never rained in California. It was always 70. But apparently, as I get older, I can't remember anything. But they've been having terrible floods and a lot of rain lately with crazy winds, and apparently it's man-made. Have a listen.
Because the truth will set you free. Today we're going to talk about the rain in California. In the last video I said I would probably bring this up because I'm trying to sound the alarm. All the evidence is so very clear and in your face. And the people that are denying this stuff are just deniers, okay? But we have to keep giving you the ammunition so you can keep spreading the truth. And maybe one time that you share a video like this, you'll actually get maybe one of your friends to understand that we're telling the truth. All right, so the rain in California, devastating rain, devastating flooding, mudslides, the whole nine. Roll the tape.
This morning, California still dealing with damage from the powerful atmospheric river battering the state. The mud had come down and it broke through the back windows.
The storm flooding streets and causing devastating mudslides, threatening property and lives.
Back at home here, we've been following another round of severe storms hitting California. Across the state, we're seeing mudslides, rivers overflowing and flooding. It's all because of a system known as an atmospheric river. Jonathan Vigliotti shows us how serious conditions are.
Southern California remains in the midst of a storm for the history books. Powerful and life-threatening. A sea of mud and debris from relentless downpours, flooding roads, swelling creeks. This is the normally dry LA River.
The U.S. tonight into the deadly storm slamming the West. In fact, the scope of this growing at this hour. There is breaking news coming in from Nevada, word of an avalanche, reports of multiple people possibly missing. And in California tonight, life-threatening flash flooding, torrential rains and mudslides. Days of rain from an atmospheric river, more than 10 inches in parts of the state. Hurricane-level winds from this gusts up to 100 miles an hour.
The atmospheric river, I'm 56 years old. I pay attention to the weather forecast. I've traveled the country and been in many states, and I've always kept my eye on the weather because I worked outside. And I can't imagine for one time in my whole entire adult life have I ever heard the term atmospheric river. I stumbled across this video of a public hearing in Santa Ana, California. The young lady comes to the microphone and says,
Name's Kara. The Santa Ana Watershed Project Authority, also known as SAWPA, a joint power authority spanning portions of Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties, announced January 9th that they had conducted its first cloud seeding event. The agency says that the 4-year weather modification program, which launched in November 2023, intends to evaluate the effectiveness of enhancing local water supplies through cloud seeding in the region. Cloud seeding involves infusing silver iodide mixed with acetone particles into the clouds during a storm, causing ice crystals to form and water to condense into rain or snow. SAWPA cloud seeded during 3 storms in the last week of December and the first week of January. Northeastern University Assistant Professor of Public Policy and Urban Affairs and International Affairs, Laura Kuhl, says that while cloud seeding is not a new technology, first experiments took place in the 1940s, it fell out of favor in the 80s for being unacceptable ethically and an environmental hazard. Kuhl notes that several unintended consequences from cloud seeding, a study in the UAE demonstrated that cloud seeding operations lead to an increase in urban flooding. A blizzard in China killed over 40 people, and severe flooding in the UK have also been linked to cloud seeding. Kuhl goes on to say that silver iodide is known to be toxic and is regulated under the Clean Water Act as hazardous substance. Studies have documented potential harms from bioaccumulation, particularly for aquatic life. Wow, and look at our county. You guys cloud seeded us on purpose. You destroyed these people's homes. They didn't have flood insurance, but you all know that. I just hope that flood insurance gets, there's like some sort of a clause that if it's not a natural event, if it is a cloud-seeded, man-made, manipulated event, that they're covered. Jim, you're a pilot of 20 plus years, right? You don't think that anything is going on in the skies that you see? We've seen those for years. You're a liar and a coward. And yeah.
Next speaker, please.
spraying our skies, playing God, and creating rain. How well does that sit with you? Please leave a comment down below. Here's a clip of how well it sits with one lady.
I was carried out by firefighters. My dogs were carried out by firefighters. The water went this high in my house. Everything was floating. I lost everything from my contacts to my crock pot. I mean, everything is gone. I have nothing, and I am so broken. And my soul is crushed, and I need you guys to help me because no one will. Like, please help me.
I can make a whole playlist with all the videos that I've presented to you guys, proof positive and great evidence on the fact that they are spraying our skies. And it does affect the growing of our food. It affects our bees that are pollinators, our butterflies, the migratory birds, everything. It's going to affect everything. And that's why I keep sounding the alarm, and I want y'all to share the videos as much as you can, because we have to keep beating the drums and get this information out there. A lot of people do not understand what is going on, or they don't believe it. They think we're crazy, but we just have to keep producing the evidence, and we just have to keep being kind and just keep pressing, okay? Because we know, and they know that we know, okay? So stay vigilant out there. As promised, I produced all this great information. I'll have a link to the Santa Ana Watershed Project Authority so you can read this for yourself.
Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Unbelievable news. I'm telling you, it's manipulating everything in life. And it's now starting to come out with more and more people reporting this type of stuff or this type of activity. Got one more for you, which is just crazy. I know it's going long, but I know the show has been taking a little longer than most. But there's so much to talk about. It's unbelievable. Like I said, mid-February, here we are. Oh, my. So this is from KTLA Channel 5. TikToker helps capture suspected child predators in Southern California. And check out his name. It's Black Biden. Anyway, have a listen. And unbelievable stuff. Man, this is just crazy. 2024.
Yeah, you see it there. Now a big takedown of a man police say was preying on children in Long Beach. They had a helping hand from a TikToker who calls himself Black Biden. The Good Samaritan posts videos online of the arrests of people who are suspected of preying on children.
Yeah, he kind of sets them up, helps the police take them down. Chris Wolf, live in Long Beach tonight, where he spoke with Black Biden for us. Chris?
Yeah, I certainly did, Rick and Karine. This man is a local hero and celebrity. During our interview, people were stopping him on the street saying, "Great job, keep up the good work." His nickname, Black Biden, and his appearance with a wild wig started with a comedy act when he was telling jokes about the president. But he tells me his mission in life is anything but fun and games. Fast moves at a fast food restaurant in Long Beach. Police and Good Samaritans snag a suspected child predator. We got one today. The target gets knocked down, gets back up, and keeps going, but he won't get far.
Homeboy, you ain't getting away, homeboy. Just stop.
Long Beach police tell us the takedown happened at a local Carl's Jr. They say the suspect is 41-year-old Cody Lane Orrero of Hawthorne, booked on one count of arranging a meeting with a minor for lewd purposes and one count of resisting a police officer.
Bro, I'm about to go hands-on with you, homeboy. You ain't getting away.
One of the men behind the sting, however, is not a cop, but a social media fixture who goes by the name Black Biden. He's in the red hoodie and gray sweatpants. His mission, child protection. He poses through messaging as underage boys and girls to see who bites.
I have caught over 156 guys that tried to come out to harm kids, and it's only been a year.
156 suspects in 1 year.
In 1 year. Many convictions, but the laws are just still not strict enough for these guys.
Black Biden says the suspect in the Carl's Jr. case thought he was meeting up with a 15-year-old boy.
Accounts set up on dating sites and regular social media sites that all kids tend to use. And the profile that we have is obviously a young person. They hit up the profile. Once we start texting, we reveal them that, okay, we're not actually an 18-year-old, we're 13, 14. And they continued with the conversation.
Black Biden calls the cops and posts videos like this.
Yeah, so there's this guy that's here trying to meet a 14-year-old girl for sex. How you doing? Can I talk to you for a second, bro? Or should I turn everything into the cops? Just try to protect the kids.
We asked Black Biden how long he plans to keep doing all of this. He says until the laws get tougher against criminals, and he feels satisfied. Reporting live in Long Beach, Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Wolfie, we thank you for that.
Now, that's a crazy story. 156 men that guy caught. And the crazy Black Biden, and if you see him, go check it out on YouTube. The guy's wacky, but you got to hand it to him. He is helping people. So, anyway, don't want to leave on such a bad note, but like, again, he's helping out the community. And how many children has he helped prevent get in these hands of these predators? Unknown. So, again, thank you for listening. Larry will be with us next week. We definitely have a lot going on. This is just unbelievable. We didn't even talk about Tucker Carlson's interview of Putin, which was in itself just craziness. The Ukraine, I have no idea what's going on with the Ukraine. We don't get much information on that, except I do know Zelensky is always asking for money, and Biden apparently is there with open arms. So just crazy. World's getting nutty. It's been nutty for a while. So with that, I would like to thank you for listening. We love you. Keep looking for that elusive truth, and we will see you next week with more eye-opening, earth-shattering craziness, especially with Larry. He's got a whole bit for you. So take care. Bye-bye.